Hey, this is Dave coming at you from Michigan. I figured I'd do a quick video again. We got a little bit done over the last couple days. We got the jambs ready for the garage doors to be installed, which I'm really excited about. And I kind of showed you how I would be doing it, but now it's pretty much done. So hopefully the sun will be okay. But here it is. We got this aluminum wrapped. And hopefully this will kind of show you how the cultured stone will go now. You can see how we notched in a little bit on that jamb board, which once those stones turn, it'll make it look kind of 3D where it kind of comes in. It'll make it look like it's real thick, like thicker stone there. And then what we did, you know, on these outside corners, we didn't do a reveal because it just looks cleaner when they're nice and tight like this. But over here, we just made sure that we did a little 1/4-inch reveal around the whole thing. That gives a little pocket for the caulk to sit in a little bit better. And we pretty much did the trim the same way up, down through. And then what we did over here is we had to turn this little lip because, you know, you're gonna have the capstone come in here and notch back in there, but obviously we don't want this lip to stick out on the face of this, so we just cut it and left it about an inch, a little thing, and this is literally just loose in there, locked in with this piece. It's not nailed at all. Probably be a little bit of caulk here. Once that stone's up here, you got caulk there. It'll look nice. It'll be good. So we got this done yesterday. It took us a couple days. We didn't have a full day one day. One day was really, really windy. So we were forced to lap it together here, but you can barely see it. We made sure that it's lapped over where you'd come in from the garage more. So I'm really glad that this is all set and it's pretty much ready to go. So the garage doors guys said that they're going to install it on March 8th. Right now it's March 3rd. And they said they're going to go ahead and put the motors in, and everything's going to work 100%. The only thing is, until the drywall goes in and everything, we're going to just have an extension cord plugged into both of the motors. And as a matter of fact, we'll probably just have this door over here on this side open and just leave one closed. But it's really muddy out here. We got rid of the lift a couple days ago, which works out perfect because it's a mud fest out here now. It's super wet, super muddy. We got rid of that at the perfect time. And then today we knocked out the porch. And a lot of the video, I've never seen a video really on what I'm doing here, so I figured I'd put one out there. How you pour concrete against the wooden bond and the lower parts of the studs. When you have a situation like this, you're going to be pouring the 4-inch slab up against wood. So talking to some professionals, Googling it, looking at stuff, didn't really see a video on it. What we did, since we planned ahead and we have this kind of like a brick ledge, but you want to do a ledge even when you're having a slab come across like this because it gives something to go on. We're not 100% done with this because we're also, you can see we chalked the line. What that line represents is perfectly level across where the bottom of the slab is going to go. From that line, we're going to drop down an inch and we're going to nail a piece of pressure treated 1/2-inch plywood that's ripped here that will create kind of like an avalanche where the concrete can go and still land on that brick ledge. But since we have a brick ledge here behind that, that's where the mud sill sits. If you have snow that blows in here and you don't shovel the snow and then you have some warm days, you will get water where the expansion joint will be. You might get a little bit of water there. Not so much here because we have a nice, you know, we're 8 feet in, but you know, it's tall, so you're still gonna get a lot of snow. So what we did, you don't want to put, apparently you don't want to pour the concrete right up against the Tyvek because they say that concrete has the chemical agents in there that can cause dry rot. You know, you don't want to put concrete right against the wood. So they said the best thing to do, what we did is we just got another roll of weather shield and we just wrapped it around, brought it up wherever it lands up here. It's not a big deal, but we didn't cut the weather shield. We just went the full 3 feet, which seemed to work out. We just put it there, overlap it. It looks ugly here because you got to cut it to make it shape, and then we stuck another piece under there, caulked it a little bit. It looks real ugly, but it doesn't matter because like I said, you're going to have plywood come up And the concrete guy told me to just leave it about an inch down below that line. So we're just going to have like this barrier that makes it to where the concrete can still pour in here. So all this is just going to be covered with concrete. So this gets pushed in, and then you just, you know, see how it's all coming out. Not a big deal. We're going to do that tomorrow. It just pushes in, and we're going to drill a quarter-inch holes through the plywood, and then just use those lead pins with the hammer drill. Just go in. I just got like 1.5 inch lead pins just to pop it in there, and then just it'll be all prepped. So we were told that usually they use tin. You put tin up, which like a galvanized tin metal, but it's hard to come by, it's hard to bend. So they also said you really shouldn't use aluminum, but you can use aluminum if it's the PVC coated, which that's what we use here. It's almost like a painted PVC coating, and they said that's pretty much the best thing to use that is pretty much readily available, even though it took 2 weeks for this to come in. But I think we can blame that on coronavirus and stuff. Some products are just harder to get. But you can see my son and my nephew Lewis, we just chalked this line about an hour ago at the end of the day, and then tomorrow we'll put the plywood on, and then it'll be all set. My concrete guy said he's not going to really do this for a couple months, but we have some time. We really just wanted to do this today because it's not too muddy in here, and it's really muddy along the house. But once we get this plywood done tomorrow, we're pretty much going to go right into putting the siding in. So just wanted to give you an update. If you're wondering how you should pour concrete up against the bond, because you know the wood goes all the way down to here, and you can see that you're going to have some concrete that basically comes up about here. So right there, where's my hand at? Right here. So that's how we did it. You put weather shield right up against the Tyvek, staple it in. We lipped it over, so if any water does get back in there, it will make its way over and down the crack of the plywood. And then on the other side of the plywood, the sand just gets filled up flush to it. And then the concrete can still pour over to sit, so it has something solid to sit to. So hopefully that makes sense to everybody. But I'm really excited to get this done. We have it all the way wrapped around the back there. And oh, and then this is where the door is going. So we just decided when we got to here, we just bent this aluminum over because there's no harm in that. This isn't going to really see any water. This isn't going to oil can from the heat. This will always stay cool because the door will be on top of it with cultured stone around it. And then what we'll do is when we go to do the hardwood floor, since this is like an 1/8 inch lip here, we'll put the felt paper for the flooring there flush with that. And I think it'll work out good. We just taped this mainly because it was a sharp edge of the metal here, and so we just taped that in. But we're still going to do the tape for the door and all that. These doors are literally supposed to be coming in about 2 days, so they're actually coming in March 5th. So we have to put the doors in before we side, but until those doors come in, we have other places we can side. But yeah, I'm glad the weather's breaking. It's getting a lot warmer. And another thing that we have in the works coming up in the next couple of weeks, I mentioned in a previous video that we'll be doing a lot of milling with all these logs because we have a lot of good lumber in here: white oak, hickory, red oak, and the black walnut. And now that I have a structure that I can actually sticker the lumber that I mill, now's the time. The weather's getting better. We're going to set the mill up right next to it to where they can all just roll parallel right onto the mill. And yeah, I've never done it, but I've watched a lot of videos on it, and it just seems like it, for how many logs I have, it really is worth buying a sawmill, milling it, and then I'll either keep the mill for long-term investment as far as milling for other people, because that's kind of one of the hobbies I wouldn't mind having as I'm older, or I'll just resell the mill for maybe $1,000 less than I paid for it, because it will literally be used for this one job. And I've heard that the mills are hard to come by. Like mine's taking 13 to 16 weeks to build. So even the salesman said I'd have no problem reselling the mill, which I don't think I would have a hard time reselling it. So that's kind of why I bought it. And obviously, I mean, I had guys that gave me quotes on this. It's $85 an hour to mill for somebody. They bring their portable mill. And a couple guys said that with all the logs I have, they'd probably end up getting paid about $5,000 or $6,000 just for the labor to mill it for me. And that's how much the mill's costing me. So besides my labor, but I'm someone that's hands-on. I want to do it. I love wood. I love splitting wood, chopping wood. And so I just figured, well, you know, besides my time in it, I might as well just pay what labor I would pay out to get it and just do it myself. And we're not going to go full blast. Like, we know that the priority is the siding on the job, on the house, but at the same time, my friend Greg, he said that he'd like to run the mill and learn how, and maybe we could just mill on the weekends and 1 day a week and just kind of chisel through it. And then I'm planning on, once we mill it, stack it here, load it in my trailer with my trailer already backed up, and just back it all the way down the back and sticker it. I already have some boards that are cut for the stickering, and hopefully it'll go good. But yeah, this is Dave. I just want to give you an update again. I'm going to try to keep more videos coming out. When it's ice cold and everything's frozen, I don't feel like doing anything, let alone making videos. So this spring, this summer, I'm just going to keep the videos coming. I really love documenting this. I started the YouTube videos really more for iCloud space in my phone, because I was doing so many videos, my phone wouldn't hold the space. So I'm kind of using YouTube as just kind of like my own personal journal for my journey through my project. And I think it's kind of cool, though. You know, I've been gaining subscribers. I really appreciate everyone that's subscribing. I know that sometimes I rattle on, and I don't really prepare my videos. I just turn my phone on and just start talking about what I'm doing. And I just hope that I come across certain things that people can't find themselves that they want to learn how to do. Because like I said, with this, I didn't have any videos or anything I could see on how you pour concrete up against wood on a house when your concrete is going to be higher than your actual framing of your house. So I think I kind of mastered it. I think this is a good thing that I learned how to do this, and it seems like it'll work out great. And I welcome any comments that what I could do better, what I'm doing wrong, what I'm doing right. I'd really appreciate and help my channel grow. And I love teaching people, and I love learning. So yeah, that's why I'm doing it. And it gives a good... one thing I did find out too is that sometimes you forget what month you did what. YouTube, the way the videos are set up, it really does tell you exactly when you download it or when you uploaded the video. So it's just a really organized way to not only have a YouTube channel, but just it's just a cheap, free service to just keep a video journal. And I'm thinking that's probably why a lot of people have their own channel. It's for them, but it's also for the viewers too. So really appreciate the support, and I'll keep the videos coming. This is Dave signing off.